I think there are two main ideas behind After Me Comes the Flood. One of them relates to a sermon or a series of sermons that I listened to when I was young, where in the strict religious church where I was brought up, the preachers would very often talk on the subject of love, and they would talk about how in the New Testament Greek there's many different words for love, words for erotic love, family love, general love for mankind, brotherly love. Whereas in English we only really have one word for love that has the kind of status that you associate with love. And I began to think about all the different kinds of love that perhaps don't have quite the recognition or the validity that they would do if we had a better way of talking about them. Love that's transgressive, platonic love, pure desire, damaging and dangerous love. So I began to think about a man who'd never loved before and finding a way to throw him into a situation where he would fall in love in every kind of way that I could imagine. So poor John, that's why he goes through what he goes through. And then I also became very interested in how different built environments, houses, ruins, churches, affect us. We start to feel things and imagine things because of where we are. And so I began to build this house in my imagination that was very beautiful but rather dilapidated and haunted not by ghosts but by emotion and feeling. And so I built this house and was convinced it was entirely out of my own imagination. And then about a year after I finished the book, I sort of woke up in the dead of night and realised it was in fact an old, derelict but very beautiful Georgian house that I'd visited a great deal when I was a child and that had obviously been haunting me ever since and turned up in the pages. I hope that it will appeal to book groups because it's incredibly open to interpretation, which I find really exciting. So one of the things that pleased me most about the responses from readers after it came out was the discovery that people interpreted it in this widely differing way and in ways that I couldn't possibly have predicted while I was writing it. So some of the things that stick in mind was that somebody felt that John had died in a car crash and had entered purgatory. It was referred to as being a post-apocalyptic novel, with people really clinging on to the intense heat and the drought and the birds falling from the sky, and felt that I was making a point about the ecological crisis. There are some people who felt that the prose style was terribly soporific, and they felt they were being lulled into this rather eerie state where they were half sleeping, half weirded out. And so it really excites me that there aren't any easy answers in the book. It's almost an ethical decision on my part to write a book that didn't spoon feed easy answers, because that's not what we encounter in real life. And so I'm excited at the thought of a group of people reading it and bickering over the meaning and finding that nobody can conclusively prove precisely what happened. I really value the opportunity to talk to readers and other writers on Twitter. It can be quite a lonely life, sitting in four walls with nothing but your imagination and a cat. And I've been really astounded by the generosity of other writers on Twitter, how they support each other, how they genuinely want other books to succeed. I've been able to tell people that I'm an enormous fan of how much I love their book. And then to find that readers are willing to take to Twitter and get in touch and say, I really loved your book, or your book really creeped me out, is quite extraordinary. And the other day, someone had just posted a quote from After Me Comes the Flood, and I thought, truly, I have made it now.